Ninja quilting. That's what we should have
we're
named
ninja
it.
quilters. And the quilting just takes this beautiful piece and just makes it magical. And every time you pull it off, you're just like, wow, and you want to give it back. Okay. Hi, my name's Kay.
And I'm Deborah. Together we are running Patchwork Quilting Services. My two children, I have a 20-year-old and a 13-year-old. And my son Michael is a music major. So for his 20th birthday, I actually did a quilt that has a piano on it. It was perfect for him and he loves it. It's his study quilt. My mom has 12 children. We grew up at a sewing machine. My mother was taught how to hand piece and sew by her mother, who was taught by her mother. So it's really a legacy in our family. And I remember the first quilt top my mom had me piece.
So we've been friends for many years and we have always loved sewing. I have 6 kids, wonderful kids. I'm a grandma of twin boys and that's been really fun. So cute. We just love them to pieces. And I took my actual official sewing class when I was 11. I always love creating things. I love to create things and then step back and just look at the finished product. What's drawn me towards quilting is how unique it is.
Not only is everybody's quilt unique, but everybody's story is unique. It is just as fun to see what they've made as to hear why they made it.
Especially if it's made with a specific person in mind, every stitch. There's a feeling of love that goes into every stitch that's going to come across to that person. The children's quilts we've done for little kids with cancer, we've let them actually talk to them and ask them what their favorite animal or their favorite thing was. And one of them was for a little girl, her favorite was unicorns. So we made a unicorn little quilt and quilted it. She is just absolutely adorable. And it's such a comfort, and they get to hold that, and they get to know that other people were thinking of them. And it's just been a really good experience.
One of the things that Kay and I talked about from the beginning is we always wanted the business to have an element of service and giving back. And because so many people piece tops for gifts to others, for gifts of love and comfort to others. And a lot of people, it's money out of their pocket. They spend a couple $100 on a quilt top and hours and hours and hours and hours of time, and we want to help them finish that work of love. We helped a friend of ours who was diagnosed with breast cancer a couple of years ago. Her daughters actually made a quilt for her to have during her chemo treatments. And she wore it out. It wasn't quilted, it was just flipped, which means a top and back sewn together and turned inside out. And it was wearing a lot. When you quilt, it holds the fabric together and it doesn't rub as much. Hers was rubbing a lot, the seams were coming apart, and it was worn. And we took that quilt and quilted it for her. It's real. We're not making it up. People have stories behind their quilt tops. This quilt top, it was made by a grandma for her grandson. If you look close at it, each little square is hand embroidered. I ended this quilt and took it off, and I was just happy. I was rejuvenated. It is something sweet that was put together with a lot of love.
One of the funnest things, and I don't know if you remember, but when I was a kid, the community ladies would all get around to this big giant quilt on the grass, and I remember as a little kid laying underneath the quilt as these ladies stitched these hand quilts, on top. Well, my son loves to come in and he'll lay underneath the machine and just watch that thing and feel, in fact, close his eyes and just feel it, because it's magical.
How old is your son?
He's 24. Quilting in a quilt, it actually makes it more durable. It makes you less afraid to use it. And that's what a quilt is for, is to use and love and cuddle and have a fond memory when you put it across your lap or wrap it around your shoulders. You feel the love of whoever made it for you, your grandmother, your mother, your aunt, and maybe she's passed away. You know, it's just, quilts have special meaning in people's lives. People that you love and that you touch. You touch people's lives. I don't know. Okay, now I'm gonna cry. It makes me remember my own grandparents. We want them to come away with the quilt that they had imagined from the start.